Dedicated is a visual research that focuses on identity, making the experience with the other therapy to know oneself and exorcise the most intimate fears. Dedicated pays tribute to the life of Maria Rosaria, my aunt, suffering from schizophrenia, where the photographic lens becomes an integral part of an experience that investigates preserving the essence of life and death. Castelloni Anna, Dedicato, Dedicated, Accademia di Belle Arti Napoli, first prize for students from Italian institutions.
A silver cone stands on the floor at waist height. The wider circumference makes up the base, and the small circumference is at the top, waiting for someone to step inside and peek out, like a skirt, so that the torso only will be out of the cone and the legs inside.
Connolly Jones, Zuleika, Gnosis, Do You Know Me? Edinburgh College of Art, University of Edinburgh, UK. Special Amicucci My Mary Prize. The work I created wants to represent the relationship between disability and the urban environment, and how the surrounding environment has changed to meet more important problems, and how, thanks to this, even people in wheelchairs can visit their city without problems. Ponte, Francesca Romana, Disabilità nascoste, Hidden Disabilities, Accademia di Belle Arti, Napoli, Italy.
One, two,
This wooden sculpture, covered in resin and wax, is smooth but porous at the same time. It represents a 40-centimeter fetus, still with undeveloped hands. Wires come out of its navel as a cobweb, and together with the metal ribs of an old barrel, they surround the fetus like a placenta. The fetus breaks the cage, the source of food, but also of restraint, like us, trying to push beyond the limits. Fratelli Michele, No Cage, Accademia di Belle Arti, Urbino, Italy.
Expression of pride. Color photo with very contrasting colors, composed of a totally black background, and a young female figure, placed in foreground, illuminated for trocar, of dimensions 100 by 17. The image depicts a beautiful girl named Antonella, of a fair complexion, long-limbed build, with eyes and long dark hair, ending in vaporous curls, covering her right shoulder, thus leaving the left shoulder and the neck uncovered, highlighting the whole profile. The right arm is carried up over the head, so the fingers stop at ear level, highlighting a hearing aid that is illuminated by a thin beam of light, while she smiles so proudly.
Cupaiolo Alessandro, Fierezza Espressiva, Expressive Pride, Accademia delle Belle Arti, Foggia, Italy. Second prize for students at Italian institutions. The illustration is clearly a stylistic and symbolic reference to Banks's work. The famous little girl with the red balloon is presented with the peculiarity of the wheelchair on which she's sitting. Rich in meaning, the theme of the balloon girl expands and embraces the concept of isolation and limitation, caused unfortunately by many pathologies. Angelo Pio, Balloon Girl. 2. Accademia di Belle Arti, Napoli, Italy.
The work, Jean Patterson, consists of 4 oil paintings on various surfaces such as reclaimed wood, calico and cotton, mounted flat against a white wall. The top left painting features 2 arthritic hands gripping onto peach and pale green patterned bed sheets, in the process of making them. The wrists and lower arms are thin and bony. The top right painting depicts 2 used but well-kept garden shoes placed aside on the doormat. The light shines on the shoes, passing in through the glass doors to the right of them. In the bottom right painting are the hands holding a butter knife whilst preparing toast on a plate. The swollen fingers hold the knife, carefully positioned so that it cuts across the bread diagonally. In the bottom left painting are 2 green-tinted mugs, with the remains of tea in the bottom of both of them, left behind by frequent tea drinkers.
Davis Ella, Jean Patterson, Edinburgh College of Art, University of Edinburgh, UK. Second prize for students at British institutions. This work explores the topic of self-harm against the body and its psychophysical shell, the skin, as the only one medium left. Here is analysed by a deep and personal research the difficult relation between the self and its own body, and also by an artistic process that frees the body from the anguished role of medium, playing it on the canvas. Siena Valentina, Contro la pelle, Against One's Own Skin. Accademia di Belle Arti di Brera, Milano, Italy.
I paint on a wooden panel 50 centimeters large and 70 centimeters high. I paint with oil paint, and I am inspired by icons of the Christian and Orthodox Church, and in fact, the composition is very similar to them. So, in the foreground, there's a face or body, and the background is decorated. And the bodies all have something that makes them be out of the norm. It can be a disability or an illness. And the background is decorated with different colors and patterns, but also with pearls or gold leaves.
Dawn, Charlotte. Disabilità nascoste. Hidden disabilities. Accademia di Belle Arti, Napoli, Italy. Il colore all'improvviso. Suddenly color. The experience's main purpose is to go beyond the bright and chromatic surface of the objects, giving full attention to all the sensations that enrich our senses when touching, smelling, feeling the materials. These artworks on show, a selection of a wider production, are the result of months of workshops, all of a high emotional and artistic impact, being the physical expression of the richness of the inner world of the different individuals. This project aimed to provide blind patients by birth with new means to explore reality, especially the concept of colour, through the use of materials. The protagonists of this workshop were asked to experiment, handle, and eventually create works of art representing the different perceptions associated to colours and revealing the most intimate and secret meaning relating to them, expressing their personal concept of light while interiorizing a first idea of red, yellow, and blue. Fabri Valentina. Il colore all'improvviso. Suddenly color. Exhibition of artworks created by visually impaired people throughout the journey, Suddenly Color, in collaboration with Istituto dei Ciechi, Milano, Ospedale Fate Bene Fratelli, Milano. Accademia di Belle Arti di Brera, Milano, Italy. Terzo premio per studenti da istituzioni italiane. I created this composition that embraces two aspects. A realistic one of an intimate moment or the injection of insulin, and an ironic one in which the subject raises her arm as a sign of strength towards herself and towards her disability. Her identity is represented without shame in her living room. The proud look and the tight lips seem to affirm, "Welcome, this is me." Fusco Sara. Disabilità nascoste. Hidden disabilities. Accademia di Belle Arti, Napoli, Italy.
Photographic image of a female figure wearing a body extension. The figure is nude against a stark white background. She is covered in blood smears, kneeling and hunched over with her hands covering her face, conveying despair. The extension is made of wire,
Hessian fabric, plaster and paint. It has a circular base around the head with several long dark tendrils which mimic hair reaching the floor, enclosing the figure within the piece. The piece is reminiscent of Louise Bourgeois' Maman sculptures, taking on a similar form. It has also been inspired by the body extensions of Rebecca Horn, carrying the same philosophy as her works. My intention was to talk about autism in women and girls using the myth of Medusa. The long tendrils are evocative of her unusual serpent hair, whilst creating a safe space for our figure.
Gavin Lindsay. Medusa Body Extension. Gray School of Art. Robert Gordon University, Aberdeen, UK. First prize for students at British institutions. This series of works expresses a reflection on life. People and nature live together. Plants, animals, and men respect each other by sharing the same space and time unquestionably. In the work, there is a person who seems incomplete, looking at a bird as if to kiss him, a symbol of the fusion between man and nature. On brown paper and wooden skin, I used the pen along with the charcoal pen because ecological materials give a more natural flavour. The work represents an invitation to respect nature, animals and plants. Helidan, Bacio, Kiss, Accademia di Belle Arti, Firenze, Italy.
I Want Never Gets. Monoprints on Fabriano, approximately A4 size, by Monica Marshall. This series features 6 monoprints on A4 Fabriano paper, with 3 in solid black ink and 3 in red and black ink, combining drawing and text. These detail issues associated with the artist's experiences of living with Asperger syndrome, including sensory issues and overloads, as well as documenting frustration with the system and the stereotypes surrounding the condition. The aim is to represent neurodiversity in a frank yet amusing manner.
Marshall, Monica. I Want Never Gets. York St John's University, York, UK. Special Mark Bailey Prize for students at a York institution. The intention is to depict social disabilities which, in the imagination of collective well-being, are often associated with physical disabilities. Gypsies, the homeless, and the places they live in. They are the last, the outcasts, the marginalized, relegated to ghettos that carry into reality the idea of place, other, insurmountable, distant. In the last year I spent in Romania, I learnt the relevance of what is different in the usual context, arriving at the conclusion that there is on our part, skilled, distant, well-off, a concrete need to confront bodies and minds of which we ignore boundaries and possibilities. In a sort of perverse mechanism in which they are at the base of our society, the goal I set myself was to highlight the figures, with pride, richness of colours and expression, comparing them to the writing of the sacred icons of the Romanian tradition. The golden background beatifies them, makes them new saints torn from orthodox churches. Disability becomes a central point of observation, reflection, sacredness, beatified body, warning for the living that kneel to their martyrdom. Michello Giulio, Disabilità nascoste, Hidden Disabilities, Accademia di Belle Arti di Brera, Milano, Italy. On the occasion of the International Day of People with Disability of 2018, I was asked to design a poster. The first draft was an athletic stylized stickman with limbs of different dimensions and one eye only, portrayed in the act of jumping an obstacle. The client rejected the proposal, considering it offensive, and asked for an able-bodied character. Why can't disability be represented? Why is it considered offensive towards people with disability themselves? Why do our beauty standards exclude such a large part of the population? From these considerations comes the poster here presented. Modugno Rocco Lorenzo, Disabilità, Bellezza e Rappresentazione. Disability, Beauty and Representation. Isia, Faenza, Italy. Until I Collapse. Until I Collapse is the beginning of anything that moulds the thoughts of an unstable self, generating a triangle at which vertices I'll find myself, the food, and my body. The photographic act becomes aware of another existence and dialogues with my very bone marrow, the chronic disease ulcerative colitis that goes beyond all my emotions. Molo, Anna Maria, Until I Collapse, Accademia di Belle Arti, Napoli, Italy. Estia. Estia is the correspondent of the goddess Veste in Roman mythology, a figure that has always been associated with the home. She rejected lusts, lived in her daily life made of divine banquets. In the same way, Esther of the nowadays, between parallels and poetry, dresses in the clothes of hikikomori, aware of and protected in the only environment she knows, her room. Montoro Rachele, Panico Elisabetta, Estia, Accademia di Belle Arti, Napoli, Italy.
This work is a series of photographs created by Wang Pengpeng, a young artist from China. The contemporary artist Wang Pengpeng is inspired by his work in observing what is happening in our society and integrating life into his works. Just like this group of photographs, there is an image of an Asian girl in her picture. Her head and limbs are wrapped in translucent plastic. She has been trying to breathe in this art scene and wants to conquer and tear around her plastic and shackles. The characters in the picture exist in a natural image, and there is no clothes worn in daily life, so the audience can focus more on the main characters of the picture. This group of photographs is shot in a professional studio. The picture shows the natural state of the character in a professional photographic light angle and clearly shows the artistic beauty of the picture.
Peng Peng Wang. We are born equal, regardless of our physical or mental. Siamo nati uguali, al di là del fisico o del mentale. Accademia di Belle Arti, Firenze, Italy. Acceptance, discovery, transformation, rebuilding. The work of art, made up of 3 parts, reflects a process of elaboration in which the identifiable forms are, at the same time, cause and remedy of their own disabilities. The awareness of inner strength, iron wire, is their true support. This work is constantly changing. Picciolini Francesco, Ombre Luce, Oltre. Shadows, Light, Beyond. Accademia Albertina delle Belle Arti, Torino, Italy.
In the BW photo you can see a woman's back that with a slight movement, made with long exposure and little light, creates wings.
Pompa Lucia, Io posso volare, I can fly. Accademia di Belle Arti, Foggia, Italy. Special Zamparelli Prize for students at Italian institutions. The person who has a non-obvious disability, hidden under the surface of the water, has a proud and determined expression. His disability is not a limit, but it becomes the push to challenge himself and live as his limit is far from himself. On, go ahead despite everything. Don't give up, stay on. Everything turns blue to define the emotional balance of the strongest. Ponticelli Davide, La fierezza della disabilità, disabilità nascoste. Disability pride, hidden disabilities. Accademia di Belle Arti, Napoli, Italy. It speaks of the sense of alienation that arouses problems of sight and the sense of insecurity that extends to wearing glasses. Not putting them on pushes you out of the world, preventing you from seeing things completely. But putting them on puts you in a bubble of insecurity, particularly if you are forced to use them from an early age. This is a very personal topic for me, as I've had to learn to live with glasses since I was 2 or 3 years old. Rea Gloria, al di là del vetro, on the other side of the glass. Accademia di Belle Arti, Napoli, Italy. Every person has his or her own world. People look perfect from the outside, but perhaps have a psychological disease. My work has the idea of a psychological situation. I have imagined the shape of a person without any facial expression, like a person's soul. It is thinking what has been missed, what is the value of life. Hundreds, thousands of people are next to us, but within their own heart they are always alone and unique. Tranquility, happiness, sadness may be felt in my work, but every feeling generates poetics. Ren Guihan, Disabilità nascoste, Hidden Disabilities. Accademia di Belle Arti di Brera, Milano, Italy. Perivascular spaces, or Virchow-Robin spaces, SVR, are channels full of liquid, surrounding the walls of the blood vessels, penetrating and emerging from the cerebral cortex. When they dilate, they can create high blood pressure, dementia, and traumatic brain lesions. This is a theme I feel deeply about, as my boyfriend has been diagnosed with this, and then since he has started to behave oddly and to be forgetful. When preparing this work, I felt all his sufferance, invisible but perceivable to who knows, the person involved. I have used monotype, a technique close to painting, allowing for immediate expression, capable of catalyzing one's own real inner feeling. Russo Giuseppina, Gli spazi perivascolari, Perivascular spaces, Accademia di Belle Arti, Napoli, Italy.
The title of the sculpture is Vibrant Soul. The soul is represented by a tuning fork with, at the top end of the prongs, 2 open and welcoming hands that ask for help.
Santelli Claudio, Anima Vibrante, Vibrant Soul, Accademia di Belle Arti, Urbino, Italy. This is a photographic poster in which we can identify 2 main characters. The first one, the jug, is pouring some milk with no evident effort. But if you look closer, you can see the milk actually comes out of the jug sliding on its side. The second character, the mug, doesn't stand still, for it understands what the jug is going through. Therefore, the mug moves in jug's direction in order to help it. Santoboni Eleonora, Simpson Chiara, Verbigrazia Michela, Fabri Suzanne. Look closer, guarda più da vicino. Isia, Roma, Italy. A pen for self-injection of insulin is an object created not to look like what it is, concealed, masked like a pen, an object hidden in full view, identical in shape to all the others, apparently different only for the dress it wears. Like a person, a subject who in the same way hides a disability of which there is still too little awareness. Voya Vacca, Lorenzo. Hidden Objects, Hidden Subjects. Accademia di Belle Arti, Urbino, Italy. Special prize for students in an Urbino institution. When the person can express himself and knows himself, being with others, feeling himself a gift for someone, beyond his own limits, he makes that experience which we call life. The proposed photos tell fragments of this important experience: listening, care, passion, and commitment. There are places where all this is lived with simplicity, thanks to the presence of special people who know how to make their everyday life extraordinary. One of these is the Bottega della Logetta, founded in Faenza in 2013. La Bottega is a shop laboratory, a training environment for the acquisition and maintenance of skills and the reinforcement of the shop assistant. 10 young people, disabled adults of the territory, who attend it. Who observes these photos meets masters of life. The shop assistant calls us back to a daily life that in its simplicity becomes extraordinary. My sister is one of these special people, walking together with her, overcoming many obstacles of life, but also rejoicing for every small, big goal achieved, is still today a great opportunity for growth for me and for my whole family. Violani Chiara, Straordinaria Normalità, Extraordinary Normality, Isia, Faenza, Italy.
Bodies is a series of 9 drawings on A4 white paper set against a painted triangular yellow background. The drawings are ink drawings depicting little creatures made up of organs and bones of the human body. Each creature has a distinguishable cartoon-like eye, and they each have light-hearted, graphic and fun personalities.
Williams, Eleanor. Bodies. York St John University, York, UK. Third prize for students at British institutions.